Yo, what's going on, everybody? We're back. Behind the Eye Podcast, episode number 2. You guys really enjoyed the first one. We appreciate all the likes, the comments, everything on Instagram. Thank you guys for sharing it, commenting, liking, subscribing, even if you did that. We appreciate it. Today, we got the same group. We got Nick, got Jake, got Dane, and we got me. We're gonna try to get this episode out about Friday, same time as always. We're thinking about doing a bi-weekly kind of thing. So 2 weeks ago was the last podcast, and then we'll try to just keep on that schedule. Unless we get like a special guest or something big happens that we really want to do a podcast on, we'll do that, and we'll do like maybe a back-to-back upload, and then we'll do like 3 in a row, whatever. But we're finally back. We got some good topics. Thank God we waited a little bit longer to do the podcast because we got a whole Travis Scott concert.
Yep.
We have Aaron Rodgers. If you know football, you know he's a big quarterback for the Green Bay Packers. He's not playing tonight. We got Henry Ruggs, wide receiver, NFL. He messed up, got in the car when he shouldn't have got in the car. He was doing a lot of stupid things. But, you know, like Derek Carr said, he's like, you know, we can't really gang up on him right now. We don't know the whole story. So that's one thing.
I liked how he said, if no one else is going to love him, I'll love him now.
I know.
Which was
Derek
like,
Carr
that's a
has always
good-ass
been that
statement.
dude. Like,
and he's a wicked religious dude. He's wicked into God. Mm-hmm. So I think he understands that he fucked up by taking that girl's life. Like, obviously, you don't get behind a wheel when you're drunk.
Yeah, take a step back. So what happened? He basically got
I'm
behind the car.
I'm not too
He got drunk at a
Top Golf. He was at Top Golf. There was a picture that came out of his girlfriend was going for a swing, and there was a full thing of beer with a lime on top of it, and it was a big body cup. So my boy was definitely drinking well. 3 times over the legal limit when they.
Is he like going through something right now to be making silly decisions?
Too much money? I don't know. That's probably the only thing. Too much money at a young age.
I mean, obviously I don't know the whole story, but like you said,
and
no one should be ever getting me.
Something that I don't think anybody said was his girl. His girl should, at any point, like, listen, the dude's a superstar. He's in the NFL. He's making millions of dollars. It's basically your job to ground that motherfucker. You know what I mean? Make sure he stays. And she should have been like, dude, you're worth millions of dollars. You're playing football every single Sunday. And then all of a sudden, you're going to let homeboy get drunk as complete shit. And then you're on the highway. Maybe they were arguing. That's why he was going that fast. I have no idea. But Shorty should have said something to him.
I know when you're making that much money and you know you found that person that like you rely on to ground, like not saying that you know it's all her fault because obviously 1, she wasn't behind the wheel, and 2, like they both were intoxicated, so it's like you can't put the blame on one person really. But like as that person, like you're in a relationship, you have to keep each other balanced. You have to like look at each other and be like, I got to keep you safe. You have to keep me safe. Like it's like it's
always got to be honest with each other.
It's not a one-way street. Be like, listen, you're way too drunk to drive. You can't drive. I can't drive.
And it's not like they don't have options.
Like
every NFL player has like basically it's like a free chauffeur service that you can get anywhere that you're trying to get. And
literally,
he would rather go and drive his I don't even know how many horsepower fucking Corvette.
It's a Corvette he was in. He was in I think it was in a 20 something.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
really
shared a video.
Version, bro. And
I don't know about if the loaded gun was true, but a loaded gun in the car while drunk and speeding.
That just sounds like a pretty hefty list of just very poor decisions, though.
Yeah, it seems like he might be in a struggling
but it
spot.
makes you also think how many players are driving around drunk
and
just don't crash.
Exactly, yeah.
That's probably a really high number that we just don't talk about. I'm sure that if you were to search DUIs for people in the NFL, you could find a fuck ton of DUIs. It's just they don't crash, and the crash is what made it as bad. Because you crash yourself, even if you were to like crash just him and his girl get out, he's not doing jail time for crazy amounts. But you took that girl's life, and you took the fucking. I don't know if you get more time for the dog, but you should. You should get an extra 5.
Wait, what?
Yeah, there's a dog in the car. Her dog was in the car with her.
So as soon as the Corvette hit, it was like a Toyota Corolla, like just a normal car. The Corvette hit it, and I guess it literally lit up in flames like seconds after. And with a woman in the car trapped in the car and a dog trapped in the car, I'm pretty sure. So it's like
that's awful, man.
And it's like, I wouldn't even know, dude. Like I think all of us have been in an accident before, and it's like, the amount of shock you go through when you're in an accident is like, what is
going
life?
on?
Yeah, what
like,
the fuck
life
is going
flashes
on?
before you, like, and that dude was going like 200 and something. Like you're literally like in a spaceship, basically. You're just seeing things fly past.
You gotta understand though, like most of the time when someone who's drunk gets in a car accident, a lot of the time they come out like damn near unscathed. Like
because they don't tense up, yeah.
Exactly, yeah. Because tensing up is usually what gets you in a lot of serious injuries.
Shorty didn't even die, like, from the car accident. So what ended up happening was he crashed into her, and I guess she was alive, She was trying to get out of the car, but the car was like fucked up. Could not get out of the car. The car was on fire. And Henry Ruggs was trying to get her out of the car, and he could not get her out of the car. Because then after, there's a video of him on the ground, like, fucking crying. And then his girl's, like, on top of him, like, trying to calm him down.
Like,
But
"Oh, I'm sorry,
still,
I'm
you're the
sorry."
idiot that put yourself in that position.
Yeah, no, that's just.
It's just
straight
I
up.
hate situations like that are unbelievably unavoidable. I mean, avoidable, not unavoidable.
And then there's 7 different things you could do and stop. And not even that. I don't know. It
Literally,
just doesn't
he
make
literally
sense.
could have just Ubered home.
Mhm.
And
That's what I'm saying.
and
$25 bucks.
You can't act like he's the only culprit. I've heard plenty of people that are just like, oh yeah, I'm a great driver when I'm drunk.
Yeah,
It doesn't
yeah.
matter. It takes
That's like
never be
it's
formed.
a split
Yeah.
second misdecision that puts you
Exactly.
in that position that you
don't
it
even need
doesn't
to be
matter.
drunk.
And it doesn't even have to be your fault. But the minute they find out you were intoxicated, it's still your fault. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter.
I don't even
Exactly.
like having
Now
my
you're-
keys on me when I'm drunk because I'm finna lose them. Like,
That's what I'm saying. Like,
why are you
yeah.
trying to drive a car when you're drunk out of your ass? That's crazy.
It makes no sense, man. Like, you gotta know, like, they weren't with a group of people either, bro. It was like a date night type of thing, probably. Because, like, I think if it was a group of people, they'd be like, dude, you can't. Like, you're not getting behind that wheel. Like,
Exactly.
like, if it was like our
Maybe
family or
his
something,
girlfriend
bro,
just
you
said that.
literally, like, you get your keys snatched, bro. If you,
Yeah,
if you're
like, I
that
don't
far. You
understand.
see
That's what
that?
I'm saying from, like, her perspective is, like, I mean, I don't want to make him sound like a cash cow, but, like, yo, this dude's your love of your life. The dude is bringing in the bills, and you're living the life the way you are. I would, for me at least, that's an asset in my life. I want to keep fucking safe. Like, you know what I mean? I'll
Yeah,
make sure that
absolutely.
dude is good as whenever he is, just for her to let that dude drive already kind of shows the character she must have. Because unless she was cocked as well, because then you can't.
Both decisions.
Yeah,
Both decisions, yeah, it's
exactly.
altered as heck.
Oh my
I
God,
couldn't
dude.
imagine that she would let him drive 3 times over if she wasn't drunk.
Exactly.
Yep.
But yeah, it might just be an NFL privilege thing because your boy Aaron Rodgers seems like he doesn't need to get vaccinated.
Yep.
That
It
is
seems like
facts.
they just don't really rely on the COVID.
He
thing.
died. I heard, because I haven't heard much about the situation, but what I have heard is that he was dodging the situation really well.
He was.
And like he was asked about, I think, teammates that weren't vaccinated on the team, and he never mentioned a single thing about himself not being vaccinated. Whereas when he spoke about the teammates, he was just like, I'm not gonna put any judgment on them, but never mentioned a single word about himself not being.
He said, I'm not
vaccinated.
going to hold any judgment, hoping no one would hold
That's
it for
what it
him.
was.
Yeah.
Dude, and
And
it's
then-
like,
When pressed about it, he goes, "Yeah, what's the word he
I'm
used?
immunized.
Immunized.
He didn't say it directly, so whenever it was like directly.
But what else could that
Are you
mean?
vaccinated? And he said his doctor gave
Oh,
him,
he said he
like,
was treated or something, right? It's something
treated
like
or
that.
immunized, and it was like fucking vitamins. Like,
Oh,
that's
that's-
not gonna fight off COVID at all. Like,
Exactly.
You have to
And
get
you know what the
shot.
funniest part is you think that dude actually has COVID?
Imagine.
Do you think so? Do you actually think so? Because the press conference was held before anybody knew the dude had COVID. And then when
I didn't
asked,
know that.
he came out and said, "Oh yeah, I'm fucking oodle-balloosed." And then once the Packers heard that shit, they're like, "Well, now look at you. 1 week you're gonna have COVID." Now maybe they were just like, "Fuck it, take the closest week." So this is not a fucking late playoff thing. And then
Facts.
now, oh well, he can't get COVID again. He already had
Facts.
COVID. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So even if he gets it, they could just be like, "Fuck it, he already had it."
7-1 at the end of Aaron Rodgers' career, they're trying to get him a fucking Super
Exactly.
Bowl ring before he, well, he already
That's
got
what I
one, but
saw.
get
I was
another
like, the
before he
week
heads out.
after you come out and say you've gone 7-8 weeks now without saying anything about you being and you're fine, and then all of a sudden the 1 week, 3 days later, now you have COVID.
Yeah.
It's like
That is wicked smart to say immunized or whatever it is instead of vaccinated.
Vaccinated,
Because
because-
to like a normal person, like I wouldn't even think twice of being like, oh, he's probably fine. But like that's probably so how he doesn't get in any trouble with the league saying, oh, I was, but I never said I was
He's
vaccinated.
putting
Not
his
once.
whole season at risk,
which
dude.
he also says that he doesn't have a lot of like say in the Packers organization, but you know how much like respect and kind of like
He's one of the biggest
weight you gotta
quarterbacks in the
have.
NFL right now.
Exactly, but to have everybody else around you shut the fuck up. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's people in that organization knew that dude wasn't vaccinated
100%.
and didn't say nothing.
He's getting COVID.
valid.
I mean, he's definitely getting COVID tested a lot. So I mean,
Yeah, it is what it
which
is.
makes
but-
sense. But like, to have it's not fair.
Yeah, it's not.
There's probably a bunch of NFL players who were like, no, I really don't want to get this shot, but this is my like I had make a living off of
and
this,
they
so I
jumped
have
on it
to.
immediately. Exactly.
But like, you're no special. Like you're not special. If anyone, Tom Brady should be. But like, I just don't understand where that guy like gets his like ego from. Like, I feel like he thinks he's better than everyone else all the time. That's why when he was playing against the Arizona Cardinals, I was like, dude, I hope this guy just loses. And then he just, oh man, and then he pulls out another win out of his ass, dude.
Yeah. Hey. And doesn't we have the game on in the background, but it doesn't look like they're gonna win this game either. 2 minutes off, 7.
Without him, yeah.
Without him, and look at that. That's what happens when you don't want to be there for your
You
for your
should be
team.
blowing them out of the water.
He's out specifically because of the vaccine.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
because he has COVID.
Quarantine. He got quarantined for 2 weeks, and I mean, he might be back. And that's what, if he
Yeah,
feels
God
good.
knows. Imagine the Packers just stiff him, like hit him hard where it fucking hurts, because they
Dude.
didn't like him on the offseason. They're just like,
yeah,
yeah,
screw it.
unvaccinated, get the fuck off the team.
Oh
What
my
a
God,
play.
That's crazy. Bro.
Travis Scott,
Travis,
that dude, I don't know what's going on there.
There's so many factors
Yeah.
in like how he could have handled it better, and then there's so many factors against why he couldn't.
It's a mix of, it's his fault for not stopping the show at some point, and it's not his problem. You know what I mean? It's a mix of that, because like, he throws the show, he makes the music.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So he kind of has to be wary of the people that he's bringing in because of that. But at the same time, every last person that should be there, I know there's kids there, but every last person that should be there is an adult, and they should be responsible for themselves. When I was watching those videos, they had 4 or 5 feet on the back of that barricade, and people were pushing their way to the front. You know what I'm saying? You have to put some liability on those people that are standing there pushing against the other people who are like, I need help, I can't breathe. And everybody's just like, oh, Travis Scott, let me get close to him. And it's like...
Dude, the thing with the Travis Scott thing, man, is just like, there's so many people, bro, and like, depending on who the concert is, like, it might get rowdy. Like, you have to know ahead of time that...
Some artists just have that pull on people.
Yeah, and it's like people are going to have the mosh pits and, like, get trampled or, like, get their foot stepped on or something like that. So there's bound to be some stuff to happen. But for it to go to the length that it did without anyone really noticing, even though there's videos out there with people, like, climbing on the ladder, talking to the producers and stuff, like, stop the show, like, we need help, we need help.
they told the cameraman that there was a dead body.
Dude! I turned the ringer off, I'm sorry.
I could stay in there, fuck it.
No, but yeah, I watched videos of literal people climbing onto the stage and talking to like a camera dude who is like for like the big things that are on the stage, and they're like, help, like people are dying, like, and then the dude's just like, get back down, like go down on the bottom of the thing, and it's just like, that dude should have charges pressed against him.
There was also a lot more people there, to my knowledge, from what I read on it. I also heard that he tweeted out for people to come without paying, and a lot of people ended up doing that. And that's why it ended up being as packed as it was, because there was a significant amount of people that weren't even supposed to be there.
Yeah.
There's also the fact that it's now considered, I'm pretty sure it's considered a criminal investigation, because of there was some type of foreign entity involved in why these people died. Because I'm telling you right now, it's a very hard thing to have a 14-year-old pass away from a heart attack.
Yeah.
That's almost unheard of.
Why are you letting
So
a 14-year-old go? Poor fucking kid. But he must have been so scared. But why are you letting your kid go to that?
People who were there were saying
That's
if you
so
weren't
young.
like a decent height, like if you were a shorter person, you probably couldn't breathe unless you were on the ground, because people's chests would have been in your face. Like, that's how tight people were.
Yeah.
What just doesn't make sense to me is if you know this is happening, like you can, like it's a build up. You know what I mean? At least I get you get into the mosh pit at like 4 hours before he's there, but at 15 minutes before he's there, that's gonna be packed as fuck. People are gonna be jumping around, punching people, fucking jumping around. You know what I mean? If you can see at that point, okay, yo, this is getting fucking
Escalating.
Yeah, exactly. Get the fuck out of there. You know what I'm saying?
It's like a read the room type of thing.
But
It's like,
as me and Jake were talking about this earlier, Jake looked it up. The only time like concerts like that get to like people dying like upwards to 8, 10, 12 people, it's like 50,000 people, 70,000 people, 80,000.
There's no reason to have that many people
Just
in
keep
that
it
small
kind
of
of
an
small,
area.
bro.
The thing was is like, at least have some seating to like indicate a number of people, so that way there's no reason for it to be grouped up like that.
Exactly.
Granted, there's always going to be people that try to get as close to the performer as possible. That's just always going to be a thing with concerts.
Yep.
But there's no reason why there was, because I'm pretty sure there was no seating. It was like an outdoor event. It was dark. It was loud. Those people were probably screaming for help, and no one could hear shit. There's like I said, there's just a lot of factors going against and for how people could have helped and how they weren't.
Yeah, exactly. It was tragic though.
I
8
seen a
people lost
video.
their lives when they shouldn't have.
It was like 3-4 hours before Travis even went out, and they were playing like this music, And I was like, the whole time I was listening to the music, I was like, what the fuck is this? This isn't like, there was no words in it, it was just music.
It was almost like rave music, yeah.
Exactly. And then I saw someone had commented on the video and they were saying that it's like legitimately a specific type of music to raise your heart rate. So that could be, that would be a really hard reason, but there could be a chance that everyone's there, they're freaking out, having anxiety attacks,
someone
they
says,
can't breathe, and then that causes the cardiac arrest because there was 8 due to cardiac arrest, but they don't know because they haven't done the toxicology reports on it to figure out if it was actually they OD'd on something or if it was that the fact that they couldn't breathe and then that sent them into cardiac arrest.
I had seen that that's not something that he only did there. Like he does that at all of his concerts. And something that everybody is like, he sees people pass out at his shows, which is not healthy a lot. So maybe that's why he's looking over these people who are getting like the dude who was literally getting his chest pumped. That was a little odd. Like you can see a dude like that's not somebody who's passed out. They're trying to bring that dude's heart back to life.
Yeah.
And you can see that and you are like, yeah.
Or
like,
the idiots jumping on the fucking EMS fucking trying to get to the people who were down on the floor.
Yeah.
Like,
And
it just
people
seems
were trying to
on the
vouch
car.
for Travis, saying like, "Oh, he couldn't have seen them with those people on it's ambulance
I think
lights,
that's
bro."
a fair. No, yeah.
But
Jake,
there's a point he's like 14
And
feet
it's
above
dark,
the whole
too.
crowd. Like
Yeah,
he's
and you could
looking.
he definitely saw that. There's no way that he didn't see that.
Yeah.
There was points where he stopped and he pointed out to where people had passed out. I think that he's getting a lot of like blame that he shouldn't be. He didn't cause the people to break down the fences and cause an overpopulation of the thing. He didn't put those drugs into the people's systems, not the people who passed away, the other people who are causing everyone else to legitimately be like stuck in a sardine can. They can't move, they're panicking. Panic is gonna fucking only rise in numbers.
Absolutely.
And this is something his security team is very, very, very used to. Like especially
should be
like
used to
every
this.
single
All
time he has
fucking
to.
crackheads
Like
everywhere.
I saw there's a Travis Scott documentary about when he got arrested in 2018 because close to the same thing happened. He threw a show and the police department around the area, I forget what it was, but told him like, we know how you are, and if a single person, anybody gets hurt, we're arresting you. So that's on you. Someone ends up breaking their leg, and then he ends up shutting the whole, like he's in the middle of a song and obviously someone tells him in his ear and he's like, yo, shut all the lights off, and then he runs off the stage like everything's off and he goes to the back and he's like, are they gonna arrest me? And he's like, yeah, they're arresting you. And he's like, what the fuck, man? And then it's just like, and then it shows how like beforehand they had a meeting where the dude's like, listen, there's gonna be kids punching people, there's gonna be people trying to jump the barrier, people are gonna get squished in the front. If you see people who need help, get them out. Like this is known shit that happens at his concerts, so it's kind of on the people too. You're showing up to a Travis concert, you better know this is gonna get fucking rowdy. Like back in the day, there's concerts that people knew, like, holy fuck, don't go to that concert unless you know you're gonna get fucked up. But everybody who goes to a concert should know that they're leaving with their fucking life.
There's also just a really clear difference in empathy though, because I've seen other concerts where like the minute something pops off, a really empathetic artist literally stops the entire show immediately. He'll spot it himself before the security can even get involved.
Exactly.
And the whole show stops. It'll literally stop for like 10 minutes. And he's sitting there like talking to the whole crowd. Like, one example is Logic. And
I saw this. I was gonna bring it up too.
someone had passed out in the crowd. He cuts the whole show off. Makes sure that he literally like disperses the crowd like Moses, bro. It was insane.
Yeah, I saw that.
And then he starts telling everyone, he's like, dude, I get it. You guys are excited. You camped out for this concert. But make sure you're staying hydrated. There's no reason that you should be waking up in the hospital the next day just for a concert. You paid to be here and have a good time, but make sure you're keeping yourself safe.
And
That wasn't something I saw much from Travis. I saw Travis
Yeah.
say something along the lines of, who told me to stop? And then, y'all know what you came here to do, and then just went right back to it.
Exactly.
That's a completely different level of empathy for the situation going on.
It's like, dude, you have to like 50 or however many people it was, man. Like that's just like unacceptable, dude. Like to not realize anything's happening and just still keep going and then say stuff like that, and then you see people like Logic where it might have been a smaller venue and he could have probably seen more. Like,
Absolutely,
more
it was
of
definitely difference in numbers by like 19,000 people.
Yeah,
for sure.
that it's like there's just a difference. Like if the cameraman would have said something, he probably could have been like, wait, just hold on, pause. Like there's not like, it's your show. You could stay out there for however long you want.
Exactly. Yeah.
But like you want to make sure like it's not even like fucking. It's just fucking. It blows my mind. One, that had to happen. Two, that nobody did anything really to help like prevent it, like people. And then three, that we're just fucking stooping so low that it's like we can't hear people screaming for help, and we're fucking trying to get out, like lift somebody up or something. Like we're just all just trampling them. Yeah. And it's not even like it was chaos for what? It was like there wasn't a gunshot or anything. Like I could like it could have gotten a lot worse, but I mean,
my biggest issue is how like quickly people jump on conspiracies with events like this.
Yeah.
Like
Very annoying.
It's barely been a day, and you have people talking about demonic rituals and talking about how the stage was shaped like a backwards cross, and like, okay, but breathe, dude.
Exactly.
Relax.
Like, take a second. People actually want their lives.
Let shit pan out. Let shit be figured out before you start
Yeah.
jumping to the like harshest conclusion you could possibly conceive. Dude.
Everybody wants a fun story.
It's
You know what I
ridiculous,
mean?
man.
Everybody
It's
wants an
sickening.
interesting little fucking, like, no, calm the fuck
You got
down.
videos of the people who were passing out and possibly passed away. There was no information on it of just being posted on social media. Like,
Exactly.
If that was you, would you want your lifeless body being posted on social media for the whole world to
exactly.
see? That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Man.
And not even that, it's just, I think there's a lot of people too are milking that situation. People who
For sure.
like, there was two kids I saw did an interview, and they were like the news station who was pulling it was saying all this other stuff, blah 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 blah, and the kids gave like literally a combined interview of 5 seconds. Like the one kid said, "It was crazy, bro. Like I was against everybody. I couldn't breathe." And the other kid, I could tell they were lying right off their mouth because the other kid literally goes, "Yeah, I couldn't breathe." That's exactly how he said it.
bro.
And I'm like, bro,
Really, dude?
just take a second. Like, there's people who actually couldn't fucking breathe.
Yes,
Like, there's people who are fucking going through that, and they're the ones speaking their story to, like, I just feel like in that whole situation, there's people who really want to push some blame. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And instead of just putting people who should have been blamed, they pick the biggest name, and he's done. Like, you know how many comments I saw? Like, go on Spotify and make sure he's
Block
blocked.
out his name, yeah,
so
dude.
you're never listening to a song again. I'm like, dude.
You don't even know what the full story
Exactly.
is. No one does, except for the people who are
The
there.
dude, for all we know, he has no idea, or which he should get prosecuted and fucking probably get jail time if he knew someone saying in his ear, "Travis, people are dying. Get the fuck off stage." And he's like, "Fuck
had
it."
posted today saying that
I saw
Travis
that,
had
yeah.
no clue, and if they would have known that, they would have ended the show.
Because
So-
you want to know something funny? There's a lot of people who went to the store, the same exact thing, and over those 2 hours, I see videos of people smiling and laughing and screaming, "Go Travis, go Travis!" So there's
Yep.
people in the crowd who don't know that people are dying right next to him.
Yeah.
So it's like, but Travis also has 14 feet in the air. He can see, dude, fucking, and then he's Fortnite dancing. And it's like, come on,
my God.
someone needs to tell you about
Biggest
this
thing
shit.
is that just like 90% of the people talking about the situation probably have never been on a stage with that number of people in front of them
Exactly,
making that amount of noise in that light. And there's really no way to know what actually happened. There's no way to know whether or not Travis was in a viable situation to involve himself and change how it was happening. And there's no way to know if he wasn't. It's literally all up in the air right
He
now.
was
It
probably the
happened too
fucking.
soon.
He was probably the highest motherfucker there. No bullshit,
Yeah,
knowing
dude.
Travis. Like, I can't imagine that he knew exactly what was going
Dude,
on
I think
himself.
his daughter was there too, bro. Like, I wouldn't want my daughter there at all.
Yeah.
Bro. Like, I would be like, dude, like, I know how my concerts get. Like, I'd like, please, like, just don't let her come here.
I just
I know
don't.
she wants to see her daddy perform, but not today.
Unless she's on the stage.
And I
with
saw
me,
the
she
beginning
better
of the
be, like,
concert.
right behind me on the
Imagine if
stage.
she was on the stage
Ain't
and
no
she
way.
saw like something happen.
Oh my
and she was
God.
like,
Imagine the little
yo,
one.
and she saved people, bro. That's
Probably doing a fucking better job than the security team was actually doing.
Bro, like with seeing the videos, man, it's just.
But I
like,
did see a video of a security guard, and I'm not even gonna hold you. He looked terrified. Like, that's just a human. Like, he got a security suit on, but he still feels what you're feeling. Like, if
He's
you're
in the middle of the
terrified,
crowd,
he's
right?
terrified. Yeah, he looks fucking lost.
He's
And
like,
it's like, what do you
"Whoa."
expect him to do? Like, they're like, help, and they're like, he can't get to you. Like, he sees you, but he physically can't get to you.
They're
Like,
they're basically bouncers in that scenario. They're
No,
not
exactly.
Yeah.
They're
trained
not
in
meant-
EMS
yeah.
medical stuff. They're not trained in all that stuff.
and he
so
looks
I can't
scared as
imagine,
fuck
yeah.
himself, so he probably can't even think straight. And then everyone's giving him shit. And then there were some people who I saw that were giving him like the benefit of the doubt, and they were like, he looks terrified
a
himself,
human.
and it was like,
Yeah, what the fuck do you want him to
you
do?
I put a
If they
security
can't
thing
move, he
on me,
can't
I don't
move.
get superpowers.
That's how it
that's what I'm
works.
saying, like-
But yeah, what they should have done was go to the back of that fucking crowd and started yanking people the fuck off.
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
what
out
I should
from the
have. That's
back.
the quickest way you can help people. You know what I mean?
Move,
Stop trying to pull them off
That's
the
hard
front.
to do when the artist
know.
himself doesn't fuck.
I know,
doesn't
exactly.
allow that at all, dude.
That's
Yeah,
something
people to
that
go, yeah, they'd be
there
pissed.
needs to be. Everybody should have something in their ear, and someone should be able to talk to at least one person that can talk to Travis
Yeah,
at all
PD.
times. You know what I'm saying?
What is it, Houston PD?
Yeah.
They need to do a whole lot fucking more, because they're funded
Facts.
to all fucking, they could
I,
not.
you knew that was going to be a shit show when I saw 6 hours before the thing. People were busting down barricades, running into that place. It was just like, you need to have a better control. Someone should have told that dude before.
If Travis actually put out like, yo, come to this without paying, like,
Yeah.
because I saw some like multiple times that he had put out information on how to get in without paying. If that's true, because I don't know if it's true, I don't follow Travis like that. If that's true, that's a pretty big outlier on why that happened.
Oh yeah.
I'm pretty sure what you're talking about is he has said it, but it wasn't for this one. He said it for ones that were a couple ones ago, and those screenshots resurfaced. So
He got arrested for those. He's been arrested twice in the last 3 years for concerts. And the thing is, he doesn't get in trouble, which I don't know. It's an investigation right now, and they'll find out if he's at fault. But it seems like he doesn't really get in trouble if he doesn't incite it. Which,
So
like,
if he you think if he, in the back of
exactly.
his head,
So
he's
if he
probably,
says
I say
like
something, they're gonna like book me. Because
exactly, like one time, the reason why he got arrested one time is because he like was saying like fuck people up, like that's like he was like fuck everybody up, everybody just, and then people got hurt, and then he's fucking nuts. He's
wild,
he's
man.
nuts, but he puts on a concert and a half. If I want to like just talk completely out of it, that dude is a performer
It's clear
like no
he
one
can
else.
put on a crazy performance.
Exactly.
For sure, yeah.
My boy came out fucking flying out the floor today. Like that's how he started, or a couple days ago. He started his concert with the fucking, and then like you were saying about that demonic shit, everybody was saying, oh, it's a ritual. People said like he had pyrotechnics, so the flyer when he came out, they were like he had 8 flames for the 8 people who he was gonna take. It's like, dude, you need
Come
to
on. Yeah, at
take,
that point you're just speaking
get off the
down.
phone for a
much,
half an
man.
hour, go breathe in the corner,
Go lay down
and-
outside.
Exactly, touch the grass,
Yeah, dude.
get back to reality.
realign yourself.
Come
fucking
back on
put your
Twitter and talk
chakras in
some more.
line, and
I just
shut the fuck up.
People are just they're so quick to just be stupid.
Mm.
Like they won't look up anything. They'll be like, all right, yeah, Travis Scott, fuck him. It's all his fault.
Oh my
And
God,
it's like,
TikTok's is so many people's just like news source. That's where they learn, and that's where they
oh my God.
all the information they get from TikTok. It's the truth. It's the
That
Bible,
is-
dude.
Gotta be. Seeing on the internet must be real.
Absolutely,
That
dude.
is the cold-blooded.
I saw a dude talk about the demon realm and how no one understands it. I was like,
Oh
this
my
dude,
God,
you got
dude.
problems, man.
You'll see
Oh
some
my.
outlandish shit on TikTok.
Yeah.
Aside from the funny shit that you see.
I had one cool thing I seen on TikTok was a dude who was posting his recovery. It was, I think he was taking 800 milligrams of oxy every day, and he was saying that he was. It's called like the Dark Triad. It's when you're a narcissist, a Machiavellian, and then something different. A narcissist, you know what a narcissist is. I'm pretty sure a Machiavellian, I don't really know, but it's like it has similar ideals. And then it was one other thing, and it was this dude, and he was like, you could tell that he was being honest because when you're going through withdrawal, your pupils over time they depict how much of a withdrawal you're going through because you'll start off when you take your dosage to your eyes being pinpoint,
Yep.
and then like over like 2, 3, 4 days your eyes will get bigger and bigger, and then at one point it will be flushed out, and that's when you have like really nothing left in your system. So he was doing it crazy ass serious. He was perfectly fine. He was like legitimately talking down on people who have like fucking addiction problems, and he was like, if I can stop and do it just like this, then why can't you? But then that also went into the thing with him being the Dark Triad dude. I'm pretty sure he doesn't feel like process emotions. So if you can't process the fact that you're like,
I was gonna say that's got to be really specific to an individual. man.
Exactly.
Not even
Because
that,
imagine, especially
but
a
the main point of
narcissist.
that is that's just what you find on TikTok. You can
Exactly.
like, I just went on a tangent talking about some bullshit, and that's what you can find on TikTok.
It's so
That
crazy.
shit is cancer. It's
I
really
saw
bad.
what's dope is I saw on TikTok the other day was the James Webb telescopes getting put in outer space. So like
This is big. In the last 4 months after fucking searching for years, that's what makes it probable. It doesn't make sense.
It should have been known because the Navy dropped those 3 videos, and
yeah.
that
Those are proof
there's
in itself.
nothing to explain those objects moving at those speeds.
That's
Those
Jeff Bezos
things
in
they
his
have,
fucking
like
car.
those are literally meant to pick up specific movement. And those things were dipping, dude. Like,
Exactly.
there's
Like,
nothing we even have in our arsenal that moves that fast, dude.
they
Like,
had
it's not
people on
even-
standby in Houston, like literal standby on fighter jets, because like if they got one of them, like they would send them out literally right as they got
Good
it.
luck.
Exactly.
Good luck, dude. What are you gonna
They can't catch up to them. Like that one time that we have, like those couple of videos are the couple of times that they've locked onto it, and they're like, "Oh, okay, it's going at
And
a
that's
decent
automated
enough
too.
speed."
No human beings.
Exactly.
That's why
No
it
way.
was like that dude
Your
who
eyes
ended
can't
up
do it.
actually locking it. He was like ecstatic. He was like, "Holy shit, I actually did it!" And then it was like
Yeah, but
it
then
locked
you
onto it
observe
for a
some
second,
shit.
and then it was gone.
Yeah. They were like, "How did it go from 65,000 feet to 1 foot above the fucking ocean in like a matter of a second?" Like shit is retarded.
That is gravity
Yeah.
bending.
There's so much
They're
stuff
not
we don't know
propelling
about.
themselves.
Facts,
They're
man.
bending gravity around them, which
Yeah,
is crazy
exactly.
to think about. Like
'Cause-
they're all the gravity that's above and underneath them, they're manipulating with their shit. Like that's absolutely crazy to conceptualize because like we have to propel ourselves forward just because of gravity how it is. We need some type of propellant to get us going. If they can just be stationary and bending the gravity above and beneath them, think about the shit that we have.
You can go as fast as you want in any medium.
Let's assume that yes, these are beings from a completely different planet with completely different capabilities. You gotta think, the elements we have here on Earth that's not the only elements in the world. I'm sure there's
Yeah.
there's probably rocks that can turn into pudding. There's probably it's just like just crazy concepts that we have no idea about because we've never seen it and it's never been normalized.
So
to
it's
us.
not like conceptualized.
There's
for us.
probably it would not be outlandish to me at all that if there were beings from another planet that were super advanced, way more advanced than us, that they just happen to have these elements and things that can just do these insane things that we're not used to. And so whether or not we end up interacting with these things is what's going to be the interesting thing or not.
Yeah, like what if they go we start with fucking stones and sticks and they start with a rock that makes them flip upside down.
It's crazy alone that TV right there, that's from like rocks and shit, dude.
Yeah.
That's fucking, at the end of the day, that literally comes from rocks. Like that's,
I think that's just
Dr. Stone?
Dr. Stone's crazy. Fire.
Yeah.
Big
Dude,
fire.
it's an anime about there's something happens. It's what was it called?
I don't think it's. I don't have one.
They don't really have it like explained yet. I think they're gonna end up going about it, but it was there was like this big thing that fossilized everything, so it's probably
Yes,
gonna
it
be
was.
some type of like chemical warfare type shit.
It fossilizes
Fire.
everything, right? And there's this kid genius that has to figure out how to get civilization back to where it was, but he's back in the Stone Age. But he remembers all like the chemical compounds and all that shit, and he remembers how to make like a car, like a fucking wood wheel or whatever it is. So
He makes, like,
he's
a
always
stove.
making advances each episode.
so I'm assuming the people around him, are the people around him like unaware to these technologies?
Yeah, so
is he
they're-
considered like a god?
He's like a
basically?
super
Yeah,
god.
it's
Yeah,
like-
they pull up to the village.
So
and
like,
he's the
there's some
instant new
people
chief.
that didn't get for some reason. I don't think they ever explained
No,
that, right?
those people were the Senku's actual dad. Remember with the people in the
Oh,
in
yeah,
outer
yeah,
space?
yeah.
So there was like, I don't want to really spoil it for you.
Yeah,
really,
so
really like
there was
it.
a village of people somehow. It's explained, but somehow they like don't get stone frozen. You know what I mean? Like where every last person else out, and he goes there and he's like a fucking G. They're scared of him for like a minute because he's using like fire.
I
And
can
like,
imagine like if you had no knowledge to technological advances to where we've made it, and you're back in the Stone Age, I would assume I'd shit a brick if I saw
yeah.
something
Imagine-
just like create
Yeah.
fire with the click of a twist, dude. Like, it doesn't.
At that point, that's my new king. I don't give a fuck who I was worshiping before. You can make
imagine
fire,
how
you're my boy
life
now.
would be different if we were back then. Like even in the Middle Ages. Like imagine living
To an
actually.
extent, I
Living.
feel like things would be a lot better.
be a lot more simple, but I don't think you would, because I don't know.
Your
I feel
quality
like,
of life
like
wouldn't
the
be-
things
Of
that
course,
give you
yeah, that's-
serotonin now,
Depending on where you are.
like think about everything that gives you serotonin. I can't imagine that picking like fucking food just for my family to survive. I can't imagine that that's fun.
But
know.
here's what you need to think about is the fact that
It's
if
so
you never
easy.
had
No,
a
it's
point
simple,
in time
but
where
until it isn't, you have a bad winter, your whole family's dead. Like you're fucked.
yeah, but my point being is that there was never a like back then they never knew we were gonna have TVs, computers,
Yeah.
phones. Like they never knew we were gonna have. Shit
So they
that we
probably got
have
their
now.
joy from different
They never,
shit, yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. They never. If you never had access to it, like if we had our shit taken away now, if TVs were just like banned, phones banned, all that stuff, we would be fucking miserable.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like
Absolutely.
right now.
people's lives would crumble into nothing.
You think
That's
so?
like China.
I think after like a month or two, I think we would be a lot happier as like a.
That's my point.
Yeah,
Yeah, because like you're much more like present and less detached. Like because people are
Attached.
constantly on this thing.
I'd be
dude.
scrolling through Instagram now. I swear to God, Instagram is my least favorite app out of everything that I own now. And I'd be
stay off
scrolling
of it.
through it, and I'd just be annoyed. Like I'm not even like interested to see the next thing. I'm like, damn, that motherfucker's annoying. That bitch is
Nothing's
annoying.
like funny anymore.
Everyone's
Instagram was like
annoying,
hilarious
yeah.
at one point.
Yeah,
It's just
yeah.
Now
nothing
it's just a
funny.
bunch
Now
of
every
corny-ass
freaking
people
app
doing
has
stupid
the
shit.
TikTok real shit, dude. Like
Yeah.
everything's got to just swipe through videos, bro. YouTube has it, Instagram has it, Twitter
It's
has
like,
it,
just sit
Facebook has
here.
it. It's ridiculous, dude.
Yeah, it's like, oh wow, we found out that you could just sit there and swipe all day. Here you go, and they just had to feed it.
No, they hit it on the nose though. They did everything right. There's videos like that pertain to the videos that you already watch. The fact that they can give you videos that you already watch and in short increments is unbelievable for algorithm. Like that's so good.
Yeah, and
So
it
that just
changes
has
on a
you some-
dime. Like if you you're just scrolling through TikTok, you can just pay attention to one video, and then all of a sudden, now your whole entire For You
Is
page
that
is
thing.
now that video.
Like back in like 2019 when I first started watching anime, I swear to God, every single thing that I slid through was an anime TikTok. And then now it's just like jokes and shit. But during that time when that's fucking all that was going on, it was straight anime TikToks. I was like, how the fuck do they know that this is what I'd be
crazy.
doing?
Exactly.
Like, shit's kind of creepy.
We start playing Valorant, bro. That's all I get is Valorant tips and tricks. Bro.
I had like 2 weeks ago when we had played Minecraft like that first time. On everything, I never got a Minecraft TikTok. I've never seen a Minecraft TikTok. We were playing Minecraft. I hopped off, just opened up my TikTok. First thing's a Minecraft TikTok. I'm like, ain't no way they're not listening to me. They gotta be.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, yeah. When I bought
I
my
don't know.
PC, bro, my first PC, all I saw on every piece of social media was, buy this pre-built PC.
Yep.
$400.
That is
No,
facts.
it could be-
That is
it could
actually
be
kind of
very
crazy.
true.
But that's, It makes me wonder, how is that not illegal? Like, you are legitimately like trying to persuade people subconsciously to buy
because
your
most
shit.
people don't understand how that stuff works.
Yeah,
They don't
older
understand
people.
the level that their interaction with their electronics has on how much your phone
What
actually
you're gonna
monitors
see, yeah.
that stuff. It's crazy.
People don't understand how much Google makes a year selling your information.
Snapchat, legitimately, you can go on your settings and you can scroll through, and it will have a log. I think it's every 10 minutes where you're at. Like,
Yeah,
that's
as your
fucking
actual
insane.
location.
Like,
Like,
how
I
the
have my
fuck can they see that shit?
I think I have it on my phone right now.
It's crazy to me that people
Swear to
will,
God,
like
fuck outta here.
people will literally like the location thing on
show you
Snapchat
later.
when you open Snap Maps and like there's people that are okay with having their location on at all times.
I'm like, nah. I see that shit too, and I'm like,
Yo.
no.
Yeah.
God forbid, well, like, yeah, sure, it's most of your homies from high school or something like that, dude.
Yeah.
God forbid one of those dude develops like a mental illness, some fucked up way of thinking, and he just decides, yo, I'm gonna pick someone off of Snap Maps and just go fuck them up.
Yeah, exactly.
Facts.
What are you
Imagine.
thinking?
There's
That's
no
like-
reason to have that on.
It's ridiculous, dude. That's
I don't
insane.
think. Yeah, there's nothing. That's where you start pushing a boundary with a phone.
If you want your homies to know where you are, then you just do it in your apps or something.
Exactly.
Dude.
Do it in your text
something
messages.
separate. You literally they literally have it accessible to all their friends on Snapchat. That's insane to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, well, I mean, I think you can pick and choose at a point. Like,
Yeah,
I
you
think-
probably can.
But
I
that's
doubt anyone's
still,
going through the work of it.
Exactly. No one wants to.
I haven't
You
changed
either
that
put
shit.
it
I
on,
turn
you
my
put
thing
it
off,
off.
I haven't
I
messed with
swear to God, it's never been on my phone.
Motherfuckers will flex and turn it on like when they're on a vacation type shit. Like going down
Yeah.
the forest.
And then
Yo,
you go- people
turn
go
it on
look-
turn on my notifications.
Yeah.
dude.
I like looking at it sometimes just to see. I'm like, who's the farthest dude from me?
Yo,
I've been
yeah.
doing that shit all the time.
Scan the whole map. I'll see a dude out in like the UK, and I'm like, yo, good for you.
That's what I'm saying. My boy's traveling. He got his visa and
Yeah,
shit.
man.
Dude,
I had a kid in
technology-
fucking South Korea for a minute.
Yeah, I got a few
What,
homies
for
from
Army?
basic
Yeah,
out
my
there.
boy Alex Kenny. Shout out to Alex Kenny, bro.
Yo. Oh, really?
Oh, yo,
Yeah.
he's coming to my unit.
Is he?
Yeah, one of my sergeants just like he knows that me and him are friends, and he uses that as a interaction topic for me and him. Like every time he sees me, he's like, "Get ready for when Kenny gets here."
Hey.
And I'm like,
So
haven't
funny.
seen that kid in a
Yeah,
minute, but I'm excited.
He spent mad long in South Korea, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Somewhere out there. I'm pretty sure.
Would you
because
ever be asked to
I
go
would
out there?
always see him out there.
It's a possibility. It's actually a pretty
That'd be
common.
sick.
It's a pretty common
I'd go
deployment
out
spot,
there
and
if
I
you were
hear
out there.
really good things about those bases out there. So I absolutely would be down.
Yeah, and
South Korea, Asia. That's where
that's
I
what I'm
wanna
saying.
go
South
so
Korea
bad.
is
That
like,
place is
Japan.
especially with
beautiful.
gaming too.
Absolute. Like, I swear to God, just looking
Japan
at that
looks
place
so fucking like beautiful.
makes me
Yeah,
like look
yeah.
at the United States and I'm
One
like,
thing
damn,
about
this shit's
Japan-
ugly as hell.
You can't read anything.
Yeah.
You get scared, yo.
You can't read anything.
No, you can't read nothing. No, I'm joking.
You can't smoke nothing. You get
No.
big jail
No,
time. You
yeah.
you get
Really?
locked up. Yeah, it's like
Like that girl that
I think you buy a
the
gram for
Olympics.
80 over there. you pay crazy shit for some butt over there.
That's
Yeah,
wild.
and you
Dude,
get
like that girl in the
yeah,
Olympics.
yeah.
Remember the one that smoked weed?
Yeah,
Got canceled?
Williams was her last name. I can't remember her first name. But yeah, she got
yeah.
joked out of the Olympics. I would have been tight.
and everybody was on her ass because of that.
And her mother passed away.
Really?
Yeah, man,
Right
that's
before the
Somebody,
Olympics.
That's what she
one
said.
of her relatives passed away, and she had to. Obviously, she wanted something to cope with, but she wasn't home, so she was like, "Let me just smoke this really quick," and then they drug tested her or something and found out.
Oh,
and she
she's
got-
such-
I
she
didn't
was like,
even
"No."
know that.
It's
I
first
thought
of all,
that she
it's
was
so
just smoking
dumb,
just to fucking
especially
deal with like pain or from. I can't imagine running all the time and running at your top speed feels good on your body. So I thought it would be something to like
And
fucking
imagine
help
the
your
constant
muscles.
stress on every.
which
muscle
you know
in
it's
your
proven
body.
to help. You know that thing.
Yeah, yeah, you know, yeah, it is
Yo,
proven to
yeah.
do such a thing, but you know, some fucking states don't
Marijuana
realize
is
that.
so like, it's at the most normalized point it's ever been. Like,
And
it's just
it's-
constantly becoming more and more
You think
normal.
that-
I don't understand how it's still
It
this
is.
this fucking prejudiced right
I think
now.
it's really normalized for people our age and anyone at an older age group who smokes. But then that's really all like that. Like it seems to us because like we know people who smoke, so it's like fucking we can associate with that.
Yeah.
But old people like they think that shit's like crack, and it's like
Yeah.
they would rather kill their
gateway-
liver every
they-
single day with a bottle than fucking even conceptualize smoking a blunt. And it's like, how do you do that to yourself?
It's
Your
that
liver's gonna hate you in 10 years.
gateway drug. Like it's not a gateway drug.
Yo, your lungs might hate you, but
yeah,
you'll be
never
feeling
thought
better. You won't be fucking. Well, the weird thing is like eventually it's gonna happen. You know what I mean? It's gonna get pushed. It's
Once it's federally legal, I think at that point
thing
you're
is,
just
how
gonna
do
have
they
to shut up.
treat it though? Like, can you drive while you're high? Can you?
Yeah.
No, I think it'll be at the same exact extent as alcohol. I think you can probably buy it anywhere. You can buy it at any time, if it's ever federally pushed. But you definitely can't drive on it. You can't operate
I was
machinery
gonna say
on
because
it.
like there's just at the end of the day there's just people with a different level of cognitive ability.
Yeah.
It's not always gonna be the same effect on.
How
everybody.
Like you could
Yeah,
have
but
me go into a shift
yeah,
and
but
like
how you
if I
gonna
were to
tell?
smoke, like let's say like I was a machine, like something that had to do with machinery, and I went in and blah blah blah, did my shit, got out. And there was someone who was after me who also smoked before their shift, but they don't smoke often. And then they fucking got their hand cut off, and now the whole company's
Yeah.
getting sued for like millions of dollars. It's like, I understand why you have to be sober for things like that, And I think if you smoke a blunt at any point, you're never sober. Even if people are like, I feel like normal. You're not normal. You're not sober.
I think it should stay as far as like the precautionary reasoning for weed being out of the picture, like what you just said, for like operating machinery, being on duty, fucking.
Yes.
The main things that you're expected to not be under the influence of something, and I think it should stay that way. I just think criminal charges need to be removed. You need to stop getting in trouble for having. You need to stop getting in trouble for smoking. If you're at the safety of your house and you're just chilling, leave people the fuck alone. If someone's traveling with it in their car, leave them the fuck alone. It's at a point where
if they're
it's like, we know
sober,
what
what does
does,
it
we know
matter
how
if
it
it's in the
affects
car?
people.
Exactly.
You just be smart with it. That's it.
Exactly. And if
Whenever you give all of America the line, be smart with it, that shit will never end up.
There's a couple of lines where it doesn't really.
Some fucking idiots, they don't. Yeah, like be safe with it, especially with alcohol.
Yeah.
The only way that alcohol can be put on TV is if they say be careful with it.
Yeah.
And I can think of fucking a million people who are not careful with alcohol. Anyone who goes to fraternity parties, everyone leaves with fucking like all types of fucking
problems, drama, stories.
That's just what people have to do.
Broken livers.
Bro, exactly. That's what I was getting at.
If they don't put a
all
warning,
types of
dude,
fucking bad things going
if
on.
they don't put a warning with alcohol for something, you'll have 500 people as soon as something happens.
Didn't say it.
The show said it was okay. They didn't give me a warning. That's how people are nowadays. So it's just. I feel like that's just companies covering their backs.
Everyone wants to place
day.
the blame on somebody else.
Exactly.
That's what it is.
Do you think we'll ever be at a point where there's Bud commercials?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just saw a
Yeah.
commercial.
Really?
On YouTube.
Oh no, I mean like mainstream TV.
Oh yeah, but it was I mean not on YouTube. Why they would not ever be on YouTube? What the fuck? It was it was on the UFC thing last night.
Oh yeah. That's because they're
the way they are.
Yeah.
But that was that thing. I saw that in Boston when I traveled up to Boston. It's like a fucking. It's like a Domino's for weed. Like you just call it and they bring it to your house, like in a car.
See what I'm telling
That's
you?
fire.
It's like basically a legal drug dealer. That shit's crazy.
Bro.
That's what we're looking
Wanna
for.
know what's crazy? Fucking Kobe Covington almost getting knocked the fuck out. Bang, bang, bang.
Bro, Canelo won last night too.
Yes.
Did he?
Yeah,
People watch Dana watch the fight in
Yeah,
the front
Dana-
seat of his own fight.
Dana he's at a UFC fight, his multi-million-dollar business, and then he's sitting there on a little 24-inch monitor watching the Canelo and I think it was Plant. That dude Plant, I seen a video before. He was like, Canelo was talking to him. He said, "You're 3-3 in your last 6, and there's no way that." Oh no, that was Usman. Never mind. Because Usman was like, he was talking to whoever he was talking to. He was like, "You're 3-3 in your last 6, and you're not gonna touch me." He was like, "I will beat you," and he was like, "No, you won't." And then it clipped to him knocking him out, and I was like, "That's a nasty."
There was really, really good fights on last night. Dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
The Gaethje fight.
Even
was
that first
really
fight,
good. Yep.
that
That
fight
girl
was crazy.
Rose with the short hair,
I love
her and
Rose.
that Asian girl, they duked it the fuck out. Like both of them would put me to sleep in like 15 seconds. Like
Yeah.
Rose
Animals,
is
like-
badass.
yeah,
bro.
she's a gangster.
She deserves to be the champ.
Justin Gaethje, number
he
2
fought
fighting. I
really
think it was the number 4, and in the last round got slammed on his head. Had the whereabouts to figure out where the fuck he was. Went back and put my boy in the rare naked chokehold. There we go.
Yeah, dude.
Which
they
is
have
crazy.
some crazy ass names.
It's
for
crazy
fucking
how cocky Chandler was throughout that whole fight. Like that dude was leaking from every which way and direction. Like, and
He's trying to
he was
boost
just like
himself up.
fucking hyping up the crowd. He's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna get punched in the face a couple more times." Like,
dude,
dude, just like, why do you have such an ego? You're already making a shit ton of money. You're probably gonna have brain damage after this. Like, just fucking.
5 years from now, you're not gonna know who you are. You're gonna have
Exactly,
fucking-
man. Like, what's the point in being that kind of guy? You're clearly getting your ass beat. Gaethje had literally nothing wrong with his face at all. He was fine. Those poor cauliflower ears, though.
I think now that's why we get like a lot more boxers who don't get touched, and then they like knock people out a whole lot more without getting touched, and we think that they're way better boxers. Even if like the people who could take hits back in the day and still put out hits, they're real fighters. But someone who can like, I don't know if it's as easy if you're not getting hit as often, but you're still a better fighter because you're not getting hit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
The issue is a lot of more technique too.
Yeah.
There's a lot more force being thrown in those punches.
Oh yeah.
oh true, yeah.
There's also a lot more like energy management, like because you like most uneducated people who get into a fight, they're throwing their everything into every punch they have.
Yep.
That's not what these guys are doing. They
Exactly.
manage their stamina really well. They're not throwing it because you don't need to.
Exactly.
A freaking like slow speeded punch, like you might look slow. I bet that motherfucker hurts though.
Exactly.
And because like there was a few punches last night that we saw in the Chandler fight where like it looked like a love tap, dude.
And then
I
when they
guarantee
slowed
you
it
that
down-
shit dazed him, dude.
Yeah.
Especially at the
Or
point
when
of
they
the fight.
slowed it down, you see his whole like face jiggle when he gets
Yeah,
hit. So
man.
it's like they hurt bad. It just doesn't look like it because it's so fast.
Especially when you're because it was like what second round at that point. Those dudes were very clearly gassed. When you're tired like that and you're like gasping for air, it's not gonna. It gets easier and easier to get slumped out.
It's just also like, in a street fight. That's the issue. That's probably why they're fighting the way they are, because a lot of those guys could probably just walk the fuck in there, and if they spaz the fuck out for a minute and a half, he'll probably be knocked out. The issue is you didn't knock him out in those a minute and a half. Now you are the gassest motherfucker in the world, and he's gonna beat the shit out of you.
That's why I love watching it, bro. It's because just like it's literally like they're playing a game of chess with each other, bro. Like the head swivels, the movement that they have, like, and they train like day after day.
That is probably one of like
going.
for pro sports. That's probably one of like at least on the body one of the most rigorous training thing that you can do.
100%.
Yeah, you're getting kicked, punched, and everything just to harden your bones so they don't snap when the fucking dude kicks.
That shit's crazy. They're legitimately building their body to be a machine.
Kind of separate from UFC fighting, but it's a funny story. Right before I came through here, I saw a video, and it was this dude at the subway, and this dude was inside the train, and the guy on the outside was like basically like instigating the guy on the inside, and the door was about to close, and he spits on the guy inside the train, and this dude gets his hands in between the thing, and this dude on the outside of the train, he is fucking souped. He feels like a big man, bro. This man hulked those doors open. And it was one of those TikToks where it was like, as soon as the doors open, it zooms in on the kid that was on the outside, and it's like, oh no.
Yep, I was about to say,
Yo, and I, of course, me being interested in stuff like that, I look up like the real video, and the dude that comes out the train put some hands on that man.
Beats the goofy out of him real bad.
And in my opinion, that's justified.
Exactly.
Like, that's
Don't spit on someone.
Exactly. That's disgusting.
I swear to God, like on terms of disrespect, I swear to God, being punched in my face is less disrespectful than you spitting in my face. Like at that point, you're trying to treat me like I don't even know.
You can carry shit. Like you can give someone else shit.
Yeah,
not even that. Yeah, I would.
Shorty,
you spit in my
if
face,
I'm
I'm
pissed
not even
enough,
thinking twice.
if a bitch spits on me, she might get a backhand. Like that ass. I do not fuck with it. Nah.
I can't.
You spit on me, that's the most disgusting shit you can do, because like almost you feeling like you're like higher than me.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that
It's
shit
like,
that
that's
was
all it is.
portrayed.
Thing to do.
Yeah,
exactly.
It's like you're trying to impose that you're better than me, and that shit's
yeah, like
corny
you
as
got
hell.
some right to fucking spit on me. Like you know what I mean?
Imagine that.
You can punch me if
The
I'm
day
pissing
someone
you off,
spits on
punch
me, I'm gonna need to be
You ain't
checked
got
into
no
Bradley.
fucking type of-
They're gonna have to do some special shit for me. I'm gonna need
that is
anger
just
management counseling, dude.
It was funny to me how quickly the dude's energy switched up.
Yep.
As soon
Oh
as that
yeah,
door
as soon
opened,
as soon as that door
that
opened
dude
up,
was
he
like
probably
a
felt
lost
it.
puppy in the subway, bro. He had no clue what to
Bro.
do with himself. Like he didn't even. I don't even think he threw a punch. I think he just
He was just like, fuck it.
stopped. He was like, he accepted
what's
his
coming.
fate. He knew he was about to get minked up, and now he was put to sleep, bro.
Talking about the punches thing, and we were talking about it a little while ago. The fighters being able to fight for mad long. Canelo put Plant away in the 11th round, and it was like
God, man.
if you were to take the round count away, like if you were to blur out the bottom, and you were to just be like, based on how he's swinging right now, what round would you project it is? You would not say 11. Like he looked fine. He was dodging perfectly. Like he was on the move still. Great stamina in the 11th. He fought a man for 10 rounds. In the 11th round, he was chilling.
How long are the boxing rounds? Because what?
I think they do 3 minutes.
3, I think.
Three.
That's a feat then. Dude.
That's what I'm saying. That's 30
33
minutes.
minutes.
You just fought some dude for half an hour, and in the 11th round, it looked like you just woke up, had your smoothie, and you're going for a run.
Yeah.
Like my boy was chilling.
Like
Canelo
they
is a
train.
different breed. The first
Oh, he's
Mexican
an amazing
undisputed champion of the world, which is actually big for Mexico. That's the
And
first time that they've had it.
Another one too with the UFC, that there was that Mexican fighter that won the championship. I think we watched that fight, and he took the belt off of somebody who's the first Mexican to win the championship.
Mexicans on top right now. Good
Yeah.
shit. They normally. I also saw another thing that fucking showed different people who hold the belt and what they specialize in, like for fighting, like Taekwondo. There was karate, like all that different shit. And I think it was wrestling had 19 championships in the last 20 years.
Holy shit.
So
That's
that
crazy.
just goes to show you get someone on the ground and you're better than them on the ground, you're going to beat them 100
Yeah,
out of
like-
100 times. Like Khabib, that's why he was so good.
Oh,
He
if
put
you know
on the ground.
the human anatomy well and like what hurts
put
and like how
Conor
to
on-
bend someone, dude.
Tire him out.
I love
Like,
Conor,
just
but he
sitting
put
there.
Conor on the floor and made him look like a fucking
Child.
a
Yo,
absolute
yeah.
baby.
Yeah.
Like
He's probably-
that shit.
and the funniest
he was
part
talking
is
to
I
him. He was like, "So what's up with all this
Exactly.
shit talking?" And then he punched him in the shit, and it was like, dude, I'd cry, I'd tap
so
out. I swear to
confident.
God, I'd
And
just
that's
sit
another
there.
instance where like why does Conor? I get it's like that's just like the rapport he built for himself. Like, that's like he built his career that way. He's known as the shit talker. He's known as the one that gets everyone hyped for fights.
Yeah.
But like
The only way.
now look at where he's at right now. He's like
be
very
fair-
much hated right now.
To be
because
fair,
how fucking far
if
he
he,
took
if
it.
he were to have fought Khabib probably a year and a half to 2 years before, I think Conor would have won. I think he was just in a big down spiral afterwards, and he couldn't figure himself out. And then to go against Khabib, who like in the last like 10 years, he's one of the greatest fucking people. He folded his career.
I'll give you this. I think if the whole thing that happened before the fight with like the bus and like him throwing
That was crazy. That was
I think if
crazy.
none of that happened and say Conor had maybe like kept it like a mutual respect for each other rather than taking it to the level they took it at. I feel like if Conor was just like overall a humble dude, I feel like he would be somewhat a way better fighter, bro.
But not for nothing, Conor saved the UFC. The UFC was in a horrible spot before Conor. Like, absolutely trash spot.
Give some clout to Ronda Rousey, too, because she popped off
just
around the same time.
Exactly.
They were going head and head, like,
exactly. They had like
literally.
And then they both kind of fell off at the same time after Holly Holmes put... She was always a better fighter than Ronda Rousey.
Rousey was giving her no respect before that fight.
Exactly, and that's what was kind of like, that's what I'm saying. And that's what I was saying, like, Holly Holmes was always the better fighter than Ronda Rousey. Like, there was not a single point where Ronda Rousey, even when she had the belt, that she was better than Holly Holmes. She just didn't have to fight Holly Holmes. As soon as she had to fight Holly Holmes made her look like a baby.
To my knowledge, Rousey was just a really good striker, whereas Holmes was a good striker, and she could go on the ground, and she could handle it. And that's like a big thing in UFC. If you're not capable on the ground and you're going up against someone who's capable on the ground and is also a striker, you got no time to fucking get your breath back. Because a lot of the time when people go on the ground, especially if they're inexperienced, that's time for them to get their breath back and like recuperate. And like it's everyone will say that most of the time ground fights are not interesting. They're not as cool as watching two savage motherfuckers go at it and just throwing crazy ass shit. Yeah. So that's usually how I see it. But when it comes to an experienced motherfucker on the ground like Khabib, that dude will put you in the craziest shit you have ever seen.
That you didn't even see coming, exactly.
He'll sling his whole body
on the floor. That's so interesting. Like if you can be in a fight on top of someone and still have the mental, like you won the fight already. Like you already won the fight. To be talking shit to someone.
Psychology is like a really psychological warfare is a big ass thing in UFC, dude.
He probably wrapped him up and whispered, and he said, "I got this from a bear."
Yeah,
and then, my boy's fought, the second that Conor signed a fight with someone who fought a bear as a kid, you're folding. Like he's 1-0 against bears. He won, bro. Like you're not gonna beat him. He fucking beats bears up for a living.
Look at a bear, bro. I'm dipping. Yo. You never see me run so fast.
Yeah, my boy was like, all right, I could probably put him in a a nice little choke if I figure him out the right way. I'll get fucking counts.
Listen, one more topic I wanted to talk about before we end it off.
All right.
Facebook to Meta.
Ooh.
Because we did the TikTok and the technology and shit, and I wanted to sneak it in there, but we kept going. But I was like, dude, we have to talk about this. Because one of the craziest advancements that we have today is like the holographics and the virtual reality, and they're literally doing something exactly like that. And
they're doing exactly how Ready Player One did it. There's going to be things that you can only get for doing certain things. You're going to be able to customize your character. It's going to be able to like legitimately your hand movements. It'll be able to synchronize everything, and that's going to be really crazy.
Man.
It's really scary.
The whole reasoning for it that I saw that was kind of interesting is that the like big ass companies will always be big, and they're going to continue to be big for very long. And if that's the case, then they will continually like take over land for what they need. Like if you think about it, if a McDonald's will not just stop being made in 100 years.
For sure.
Like everyone's going to be making new McDonald's every year to make money because they know if you have a business, but that's also going to cause no land. No land is going to make the scenery unbearable. And then that's why they think, well, if you want to see scenery that's bearable, you go into the Metaverse and you figure it out.
I'm not sure that's a reasonable solution.
I think it's an absolute fucking reach. But I see what they're going for. They're trying to get like that Ready Player One type shit. It'd be sick. You can't tell me it wouldn't be sick. That'd be fire.
Another thing that's monetized to absolute hell, and it's gonna be
especially if it's unbelievably mainstream. Then
I just don't want Zuckerberg.
There's gonna I guarantee
that motherfucker's an alien.
Yeah, he's a weirdo.
Yo, did you guys see there's the Sweet Baby Ray's thing, bro?
And he said it like 17 times,
dude.
Like, Sweet Baby Ray's barbecue sauce. Sweet Baby Ray's barbecue sauce. It's like shut the fuck up.
So many comments on the videos where like people are like, I like Sweet Baby Ray's because humans like Sweet Baby Ray's. Humans are cool, like shit like that, like just making it seem like an alien. It's just hilarious.
Dude, man. I mean, I swear, I've seen, like, the one thing that I don't want him to control any of that because Congress was talking to him, and they're like, there's evidence that Facebook knew that a lot of their algorithms were giving people, like, traumatic stuff, and it was making their, like, mental health go down, and they continuously pushed it. So it was like, imagine you're in a metaverse where people are living basically their whole fucking life in a little augmented reality, and you're just pushing them just to feed their mouth and just say, here you go, be alive and keep doing it. One thing I saw that kind of wasn't a bad point was like the metaverse will be for the poor while the rich experience real life. Where like, so if you're not able to, like you were saying, in a world where everything's fucking covered over, you got nothing to fucking do, and now the best thing that they can give you is, here you go, live in a fictional fucking land where the people who are making millions of dollars are flying off to fucking the moon to go drink some fucking
I feel like it's just going to be this, but in a virtual world.
Yeah.
Because if you think about it, there's going to, like, at some point, there's going to be people who are a lot more invested than others. They're going to gather whatever the fuck resources are going to be involved in that shit. They're going to gather the fuck out of all that, and there's going to be hierarchies developed, and that's just depending on how normal it becomes. If it's like a widespread thing that just like everyone jumps on, say someone doesn't jump on for like 2 years after it develops, dude. That person's going to jump in, and by that point, if it blows up like that, there's no doubt in my mind that gets monetized like a motherfucker. Yeah. There's going to be ads. There's going to be fucking in-game race cars that you can buy, drive around the virtual world. You fucking McDonald's
then,
in
what do
the
you
virtual.
do? Like,
That's what I'm saying.
How do you have a whole life in a virtual world, but how the fuck you pay for shit? Exactly. How you got the electricity to run
think about the premise of Ready
I
Player
don't think
One.
it'd be too difficult to build like in-game currency. Like, I just don't know how they would end up at some point differentiating in-game currency from real money.
Bitcoin?
Maybe.
Yeah,
Like that. That's valid,
you could make that would be
go hand
really
in hand.
smart because I don't think Bitcoin will fail for. I just don't see it failing. Like I can't
it's been around
imagine.
The hype
so
it's already
long.
amassed. I doubt it either.
And
I mean, all
if
these
it
shit
were to-
coins will definitely fail. There's no doubt about it. It's getting pumped and dumped, and that's
I
it.
can't believe Dogecoin had a run like it did, man.
That doesn't, no,
All
those,
because of Elon, man.
dude, now
Chibi-
NFTs, those things are the
Yeah.
biggest money laundering
But
things
NFT
in the world.
NFTs,
and no one
there's
wants
a
to talk
couple of
about it.
avenues where NFTs can actually be good. Like one, the music industry. That you don't need a label anymore. You put an NFT on that bitch, and you have your fans just buy the album, and there you go. You can just
get all that money
exactly.
yourself.
You get all that money yourself, monetized completely by yourself. You don't
That is
need
smart.
to do anything like
really
that.
wanna get
Getting away
And-
from a
And not only that, there's like what's his name? What the fuck was it?
Banks?
No,
Gary V.
who did the first NFT album drop? I forget who it was.
Tory Lanez, was it?
Tory Lanez.
Lanez.
really. He's seen that shit off the rip. That's
Dude,
smart.
20 NFTs came out with his album. The first 20 people to buy it got an NFT, and they're all worth like $1 million something bucks. Like that is like not
That's
only
wicked
do
smart.
you people buy the album, you get the money directly, but you can change people's
How are
lives, your
NFTs
fans'
bad
lives.
for the
That's
environment?
why it's gonna push.
Because
It's
that's one of
not.
the biggest thing that I've seen.
The thing
for
is
why
the AC,
people are against
the
it.
AC units that have to keep the fucking computers cool, because that's one of the biggest things for the global warming is like the drip from ACs. That shit that it makes,
Yeah.
it like fucks with the ozone and shit.
Really?
That and cow farts, swear to God. Cow farts is the #1 leading thing to global warming. We literally, that's the only thing. They take in oxygen, they poop out CO2 or something that fucks with it really bad. And we have
Methane.
If you guys don't know, like 40% of the United States is like dedicated to livestock and agriculture.
40%.
40% of that bitch.
I mean, I could see that.
You know how many
40%
cows?
is a lot.
You know how many cows we have? Like, you could go to the supermarket and buy some fucking steak. That's
There's a
because
cow.
they got 1.3 trillion fucking cows.
That
in the
is
fucking
crazy to think
Midwest.
about. Like, where the fuck are these things being held? Like, all these animals and shit?
Oh, dude, you'd be surprised. When
I've
I flew out
never
to
seen,
Missouri,
like, a mega farm.
and I was over Missouri, there was like a good 50 mile, because like obviously when you start to land, you can see the ground and shit.
Yeah.
There was at least like 50 miles of land that it was all it was just patches of farmland over and over. Like
Yeah.
I saw like 1 or 2 roads, and then it was just all farmland, man. Just
Yeah.
big like the shit you see in the movies.
With
bro.
animals, or is it like crop farm?
No,
Animals,
that's
crop
why I said
farms, all of it.
it's
dude.
like
Just
animal-
'cause, like out there down in that area, that's where it's like more acclimated for
Yeah,
growing crops.
they
and
can
stuff
get
like
money
that.
from the government to buy machinery if they.
Make better hauls, because now these people are getting better machinery. You're getting more food every year because now they don't. The thing is GMOs, is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Fucking with the food. That might be a little weird if we keep going. Like bananas, that one thing that
Oh,
people
one of the
don't know.
worst things that's put in our foods is pesticides, man.
Yeah. Well, bananas are not normally that big, and they have seeds
Oh
in them.
no, yeah.
Yeah, they're like tiny, and they have seeds in them, and they GMO'd the fuck out of them so that they're big and don't have any seeds.
I don't know if this is exactly true.
Fake ass bananas, I guess.
But I've heard that oranges are not actually supposed to be orange, and they were genetically modified to be orange for selling value, and they're actually supposed to be green. That might be false. It might
I
be
don't
hacked.
think- I don't
know.
think
I
so.
saw this like years ago.
Well, the only
But-
thing that makes me think, which is another completely off-topic thing, is that you know how people are like, yo, was it an orange first or was it the color orange?
Oh, yeah.
And the only
yeah.
thing that gives evidence that it was the orange before the color is because it goes along with other fruits. So peach has a color, there's a couple of other ones, but like there's a couple other ones like orange. That's another one. Think about a couple other fucking like lemon. That's a color.
Yeah, valid.
Lime is a color. So like there's colors that they match
Eggshell
up.
is a color.
Is it?
Yes.
Yo.
Well,
yeah.
but
We
now
all
that
know
I'm
eggs
thinking
are
of,
fruits.
now that I'm thinking
colorblind, so
about
I
it, does
just-
that mean? Now that I'm thinking about it, does that mean like it was actually orange? Like think about it, an orange. Okay, so we're just gonna name the color that orange because that's what it looks like. But eggshell, you name it eggshell because it's an eggshell or because it's white. You know what I'm saying? Like, are you calling it orange because it's orange or because it's like the skin of it? I don't know. Fuck. I
Gotta
don't know.
be. I think it was the orange. Gotta be the orange. And then they were like, yeah, that color right there is orange. Gotta be. There's no way.
Motherfuckers-
Yeah, that's what I'm
Weird,
saying.
man.
Yeah, it has to be like that. And then peach, the color peach had to be like, yo.
There's no way that there
That's
was a color
that's a
orange
peach.
and they were like, that thing's orange. We should call it orange. There's no way. That'd be stupid as shit.
Yo,
Yeah, because-
motherfuckers will name shit weirdly. Like there's like the big one is like fears of things. Like I think the fear for like really long words is like one of the longest words in the fucking world.
I get terrified
dude.
reading
The
it.
fucking word for like the word lisp, dude, has like, if you're talking about plural lisps, you got 2 S's to say in there, bro. Person with a lisp is gonna have a hard ass time with
Yeah,
that
how
shit.
does someone with a lisp say I have a lisp? Mask.
Dude, masks. You can't say the.
Just the letter S in general, it's the downfall.
Yeah.
for
What
most
is it that
people.
causes a lisp? Your tongue's too big or something?
It could be. I feel like it could be like something with how your jaw's aligned. It
Oh,
could be
maybe your
like,
teeth?
It can,
Yeah.
I definitely think it might be
Overbite
a
or
tongue
underbite.
thing,
It
but
could
it
be
could
that-
be just like
yeah.
the makeup of your
The thing that
entirety
holds
of
your
mouth.
tongue.
My
That
fault. I never got a
thing.
lisp. I'm just kidding.
That's fair. I think it's pretty common.
Lisp?
I know people with lisps.
I know a couple people with lisps. I always thought maybe it was fucking their tongue was too big, but that definitely isn't too true. So that's just something I was thinking.
Oh my god. All right.
Oh, fuck.
That was a nice ass episode.
That was a
Another
fire
episode,
that was lit.
baby. Baby, how you doing? All right. Well, that concludes podcast for today, man. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to like it. Be sure to comment any guests. If you guys still have any guests in mind that would fit into our conversations, be down to goofball it up with us. If they drink, they smoke, it's fine. You know, whatever. We do all types of shit around here. We're pretty crazy sometimes. But if you liked it, like the video, comment suggestions on some topics that we could do for the next one. It should be coming out pretty soon. Subscribe if you really like the channel. If you want to keep up to date with all of our stuff, make sure to follow our Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Facebook. Just keep up to date with all of our socials. But yeah, good episode, man. We'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.
Deuces.
Later, yo.